Welcome to the Health by Haven podcast. I'm your host, Haven Quinlan. If you're a multi-passionate wellness enthusiast, then you're in the right place. I'm obsessed with learning as much as I can about the wellness world, and I want to share that with you. Each episode will dive into various aspects of health and wellness through inspiring and informative guest interviews with some solo episodes thrown in. Tune in for all things health, and let's have some fun, shall we? All right, y'all, it's happening. Health by Haven podcast. Wow. I'm not going to lie. Feeling very out of my comfort zone here, a little bit nervous, but also excited. This is a long time coming for me. I've been thinking about doing this for over a year now. I did all the research, bought the equipment literally a year ago. So 2023 in April. And I've picked it up a few times and I can never make myself record this first podcast. It has just seemed so scary, but I decided what better time than now to get started. Really trying to work on not being such a perfectionist and just starting, because we all start somewhere and that's how we grow and get better. So Health by Haven podcast. Thanks so much for being here. Hopefully you listened to the trailer, so you know this will be all about the world of health and well-being. It's going to be a little bit of everything. I am a runner, so of course we're going to talk about running a lot, my favorite topic. I'm also very interested in nutrition. I got my certificate from Cornell in nutrition and healthy living a few years back now. So hoping to bring on some experts in that space for you guys. And then also talking with friends, small business owners, a little bit of everything that makes life interesting and looking at wellness holistically. So that is the kind of behind the scenes thoughts of the podcast, but I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit about my story today. And for those of you who know me or have followed along on Instagram for a while or on the Health by Haven blog, maybe you already know some of this, but for those of you who are new, welcome. My name's Haven Quinlan. I am 28 years old. I currently live in Knoxville, Tennessee. But I will be moving to New York City in about a month with my husband just for the summer, but maybe that will turn into a longer thing at some point. He has a law internship up there. So I'm excited to tell you a little bit about my background in why I'm interested in fitness and wellness and nutrition. So growing up, my parents loved to keep me and my siblings busy. So we were always playing all sorts of seasonal sports, did a lot of years of soccer, a lot of years of swim team, made really great friends through all of that, really enjoyed my time, but never was super competitive in those. I also dabbled in golf and in basketball and in tennis and gymnastics and cheerleading, all of that. But I started dancing in the third or fourth grade when I lived in Colorado and really fell in love with it. And in sixth grade, I decided, okay, this is the sport that I want to focus on. And so every single day after school, I would go to dance class, ballet, jazz, tap, lyrical, modern, hip hop, all the things. And I was also on my high school and college dance teams. Really, really loved my time doing all of that. Kept me very busy in high school and college, also kept me really active. So I never really had to think about working out for the sake of fitness or staying in shape. It was just something that was my hobby and all my friends were there. So I really loved it. But at some point in college, I decided I wanted to run a half marathon, and I'd never really been a runner. I had dabbled a little bit in running a few miles with my dad my senior year of high school. I had run like 1 or 2 5Ks before that. The first one, story for another day, was horrible. I thought I would never run one again. So it's funny to look back at that now. But my sophomore year of college, and really the summer leading into my sophomore year, I had decided I'm going to run a half marathon. And I don't exactly remember the moment where I decided that I wanted to achieve that. But I remember I was a lifeguard that summer at home and coming home one day and telling my dad, oh, like, this is what I want to do. And here's kind of a training plan I've looked at. And this is no shade to him at all. He's my biggest supporter. But he said, oh, if you run that half marathon. And I said, I'm sorry, if you mean when? And that just lit a fire in me. And that's when I decided this is definitely happening. I picked to run the Bluegrass Half Marathon in Johnson City, Tennessee in 2014. And I haven't looked back since. Been a distance runner ever since then. I took a few years between that first half marathon and when I really started running them regularly, but it's just been a love of mine ever since then. I just cannot describe the feeling. And if you're a runner, you know this, but the feeling of accomplishment that you were the one to work to get to the start line, to gain that fitness, to ultimately make it to the finish line. You were completely in control of that. And I think that was the first thing that I totally chose on my own, fitness wise, and set a goal, and no coach or teammates were there to make sure I was showing up to a practice or doing it. It was all on me. And I loved that feeling of being in control of my life and my goals. And that has kind of kept me going ever since. So now, almost 10 years later, I've run more half marathons than I can count and just finished my 5th marathon last weekend. The Knoxville Marathon 2024 was my 5th. Not my personal best, but it was so much fun to be in my hometown racing and have my family there to cheer me on. So I'm very much hoping to bring you some guests in the Knoxville running community, eventually in the New York City running community, and a little bit of everywhere as I continue to build relationships in that arena. So if you're into that sort of thing, definitely keep tuning in each week. I also hope to chat a lot about nutrition. So I very much believe in the power of fueling and nourishing our bodies with whole, delicious foods just to make us feel better every single day. And that's not to say that I don't love a good beer or cocktail or dessert or quote unquote junk food. I think it's all about balance. So would love to talk to you guys about that more. And while I do have that certificate from Cornell, I certainly am not a registered dietitian or anything like that. So I don't want to push any beliefs or false information on anyone, but I do hope to bring in guests who have even more expertise in that area that can share with you guys some tips and tricks and good knowledge. So those are going to be the main focuses of this podcast. I'm also a Pure Barre instructor, so definitely want to talk about other aspects of fitness, group fitness, how you can get involved in that world if you're interested. We'll definitely be interviewing some other group fitness instructors as well and talking about their own health journeys. But I would love to know what you guys want to hear on this podcast too, so that you're interested in tuning back in every week. So nothing's off the table, but obviously the focus is that world of health, wellness, nutrition, fitness, all that good stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in. I can't promise this is always going to be perfect. Might not be awesome audio quality. You might hear my dog in the background or the sounds of the city. It might not be every single week because I do have a full-time job and my group fitness instruction as a side hustle. Maybe some weeks will be multiple. Maybe some weeks will go a little quiet, but I hope that you enjoy when you do listen and that I can bring you some useful information and just some enjoyment maybe while you're driving or doing chores or on a run, some good laughs with great guests. So thank you for being here. If you don't mind to share this out with people you think might be interested in, that would just really mean so much to me. I hope that my hobby can help you guys in your day-to-day as well. But Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Health by Haven podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to give the show a 5-star rating and leave a review. It makes such a huge difference in reaching new people and spreading the joy of healthy living. I would also be so appreciative if you subscribe to the show in the listening app of your choice so you never miss an episode. Your support truly means the world to me. Have a happy, healthy day, and I'll talk to you again soon.